You are now listening to the Vitalize podcast. Hey, yo, what up, family? Welcome back to the Vitalize podcast. You're here with your friendly neighborhood host, Mr. Marcus Black, and I'm super duper ridiculously fragilistic SB Allen. You know what I'm saying? I'm Mary Poppins excited to see you today. I'm very Poppins. How about that? I'm just making up stuff. If you can't tell, I feel good today, man. If you're new here, welcome to the Vitalize podcast. No such thing as a second-time guest in this community. That means you family now. So we have a lot of fun here, and we're going to continue to have fun, and we're going to do some remarkable things together. But listen, man, if inspiration and affirmation and motivation is your thing, then you came to the right place. Also, shout out to all my new family that's pulling up from Chatter out in these Chatter AI streets. If you don't know what Chatter is, Chatter Social Audio is a brand new social audio app. And it was created by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Nelson Apega. Appreciate you, brother, for doing what you're doing and putting it out into the world. He was a Clubhouse legend, and then he and his team, the Million Marathon, went on to Twitter Spaces and blew it up and revolutionized the social audio game. And now he has created his own application, which I have been running in circles, leaps and bounds, meeting new incredible people, having remarkable conversations, and hosting a daily show because I can. So if you came here from Chatter, let me know, man. Let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram, comment on one of the posts or the clips, and let me know you came from Chatter. And if you are listening to this podcast and wondering what is Chatter, then it's in beta right now. It's in private beta. It's going to be becoming public beta very soon. So maybe even by the time you listen to this, we might be in public beta. And if that's the case, then I'll have a few invites that I can send out. So if you want to invite, just send me a DM on Instagram and say Chatter. If you don't know how to find me on Instagram, holla at your boy at mblackspeaks. And I'll go ahead and get you an invite, man. I'll use my invite on you because I would love for you to be a part of the incredible community that we're building there. Now, I just had an incredible, remarkable, fantabulous, splendiferous experience in Chicago. I like to say a lot of words, man. Sometimes I use $5 words, sometimes I use $10 words, and sometimes I use words that's $0 because they're not even words, but they're going to be words on this podcast because I spit it how I get it. I say what I want to say. And this is an incredible community of like-minded, like-hearted individuals who are dedicated to leveling up, rising above, and becoming that which we were put on the planet to become. So if you picking up what I'm putting down, welcome to the family. You are exactly where you want to be. Now, I just had an experience where I went to Chicago, Illinois. What up, Chi-Town in the building? And I went up there with a dear friend, Rachel Weaver. Shout out to you, the one and only Rachel Weaver. She has been an incredible friend. She has done a lot for me in the press and public relations world, PR. She has literally helped me get on stages. She helped me land my TEDx talk. She helped me with getting in Forbes magazine. Multiple other magazine placements and creating exposure for things that I am building in the world. So shout out to you for being an incredible human. But she reached out to me and she said, hey, I got to speak at an event of a young man. He's a very young man, college-aged actually, that I met on LinkedIn of all places. I met my mans on LinkedIn, but she said, when I tell you he is a legend, he's a game changer. You gotta know this guy. I gotta introduce you to my guy. I said, say less. Any friend of yours is a friend of mine. I love to hear from the guy. So she tells me more about him. She tells me about this community that he's created with his brand Vit Factor. And he was talking all about how to become 1%ers in the world. And when we think 1%, we automatically think money and we think monetary gain and the wealthiest of the wealthy. And of course, that is a part of it. But I love that they focus more on daily habits and daily routines and daily action steps to make your dream become a reality. So when they talk about becoming 1%ers, they mean a group that's dedicated to getting 1% better every day, 1% better every day. And so this group host by Caden. Shout out to Caden, the incredible creator of Vit Factor and the 1% team. Has a whole team. He has an executive team. And he has over 50 young people who are part of this community who come together and they share in experiences and they sharpen one another and they mastermind and they go. And I'm talking all these leaders under 25 are out here in the world moving and shaking and doing it. I mean, like doing it at a high level. And it really was extraordinary for me to see. So Rachel said, hey, I have an idea of ways that we can take our expertise and pour into them because they're primed, they're ready. They're ready to level up even more. They're ready to learn the concepts and principles that we teach people twice their age who reject them. But these young people are hungry for it. So I'm like, okay, that's great. Let's do it. Say less. You say it's the young leaders. I'm all about pouring into the next generation. Let's make it do what it do. So I signed on. We come together. We helped them write a book. They wrote a compilation book in a weekend. We broke down barriers. There was transcendence happening. There was growth happening. There were walls falling. And ultimately, the bottom line, transformation happened. And lives will never be the same as a result of that weekend, including mine. And so I had a remarkable experience in there, an opportunity to connect with these young people. The youngest in the room were 15, 16, and 17. What? Writing a book. I'm like, bro, you about to be a best-selling author at 15, 16, 17. Like, yo, that's a major flex when you go back to school. But that to say, man, it was just a super incredible experience. It was a super remarkable opportunity for us to be able to pour in and shape and mold these incredible human beings. And so I just love it. I loved every moment of it. But while we were there, one of the things that we focused on was public speaking. Because if you want to be a success in any industry, you want to sharpen and hone and work on your public speaking skills. It is a skill set that transcends any vocation. Doesn't matter what arena you dance in, what arena you play in, sing, whatever. You have to be able to use words to connect dots for people if you want to elevate your brand and your business. So I was teaching them this, and I was teaching them some tips and some tactics and some strategies, and then I started teaching them some pro tips, which I got from the legendary Les Brown, one of my mentors, about storytelling and the art of storytelling. And Les Brown always says the most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. And he says, think about Steve Jobs said that. So he's quoting Steve Jobs, and like Steve Jobs didn't sell you a phone, family. He didn't sell you an iPad. He didn't sell you a laptop. He sold you a story of cutting edge innovation. Matter of fact, every September at the Apple keynote, they sell you that same story. And no matter how similar it is, you're going to get your little self up. You're going to go get right in that line, and you're going to get your new iPhone, you're going to get your new iPad, your new Apple Watch. As I'm sitting here talking to you, I got all the things. And I'm an Applehead as well, because he sold us that story. And so what I'm saying to you is we have to put ourselves in a position where we get better at telling stories, because that's what makes people really get it. It connects dots for people. So if you have a business or you have a brand and you find yourself wanting to grow, wanting to scale, people say to me all the time, man, you connect with people so well. Every time you talk, people listen. Why do people just lean into you? Why do people press into you? Guess what? It's because I'm not just teaching information. I'm going to give you some information. I'm going to give you some strategies, some tactics. I'm going to give you some practical things that you can do to help you level up along the way. I'm going to give it to you. However, that's not the X factor. The X factor is the stories that I tell. That's what draws people to me. Number one, people like to be entertained. They need to be educated, but they want to be entertained. So you can't be boring. You got to learn how to tell a compelling story. And so I'm teaching them this, and they're like, yo, they're blown away. They're floored. Like, man, we need to incorporate stories so we can connect the dots better. So we're not just giving away information, because guess what, family? Information is free. You can Google information. It's out there. Any information you want. So what makes people resonate with you and tap into your brand and your business is the story that you tell. My engineer and I were just talking about this. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to do some cool stuff. You heard it here first. I'm not telling you what we're doing. You just got to stick around and you'll find out. You're going to learn. But revolving around storytelling, because it's one of my favorite things to do. And it's one of the biggest things that wins out in the world. So I'm like, why not encompass what I love to do? Have access to the tools, the materials, and the expert who you don't see, but I see on the other side of this camera that's over there pushing all the buttons and bringing this thing to life for you. That Like, yo, come on, maestro, let's hit it. Let's make it do what it do, because we can. And so in that storytelling, it led to us doing more things and more speaking and more practice and more pro tips. And that led me to where I really want to land the plane today. I'm going to park here for the next foreseeable future. For the next 49 minutes, I'm going to park here. You guys are like, what? I'm so kidding. I will not have a 49-minute episode. That's way overkill for me. But I don't know exactly where we'll land. If I were to guess, 36 minutes. We'll land the plane at about 36 minutes. And that's just a guess. But I'm going to come here and you guys will be able to tell me if I was right or wrong, because I won't be able to say it, because when I get to the rant, we just going to land the plane, and where it lays is where it lays, all right? But for the next foreseeable future, I want to talk to you about something that I learned from one of my mentors, one of the greatest communicators and speakers of all time, the legendary Les Brown. So if you want to be a speaker, if you want to use your voice to create impact, I'm going to give you a framework that he taught all of his mentees, all of his pupils, all of his disciples. I'm going to give you a framework today, and I'm going to lay it out, and I'm going to make it real for you, that he gave to us. And it was called the Choosing Your Future Framework. And if you don't know what Choosing Your Future is, it's one of his biggest talks he ever did. He did it in the Georgia Dome in front of more than 80,000 people. Can you imagine 80,000 people in one stadium speaking to them at one time? I've seen the highlights of that video. It's mind-blowing. And it's also a dream of mine to be able to create that level of impact with storytelling one day. But he taught the Choosing Your Future framework. And he literally said, yo, if you can incorporate these things, you can transform any human's life. So I'm going to give you the steps, and then I'm going to make it real. Sounds good? Sounds good? Sounds good? Okay, workshop time. Choosing your future. Step number one in choosing your future is you start with a dream in mind. You start with that dream that's inside of your heart. And then you got to believe, step number one, it's possible. Oh, snap, it's possible. I'm not going to elaborate because I'm going to come back on the back end and I'm going to do this for you in real time. Step number two is it's necessary. It's possible. It's necessary. Step number three is it's you. It's possible. It's necessary. It's you. Some of y'all can feel this already. I ain't even gave y'all no message. Some of y'all like, oh my God, it's me. Step number four, it's hard. It's hard. Step number five, it's worth it. It's worth it. And step number six, it's already done. It's already done. Now, some of y'all can feel that, and I didn't attach no stories to that. I've done nothing other than give you the framework. If you took those 6 steps and you put them on paper and you attached a personal story to your personal dream to each one of those, and you just walk through them like a formula, you will transform any room that you are in front of, because you are now walking people through the process of them choosing their own future, right? So you don't believe me? Don't believe me? Just watch. Don't believe me? Just watch. Okay, let me stop. Hey, hey, hey. I'm not hitting that note. Anyway, I can. I'm not going to do it. I got to save a little bit to keep y'all coming back, all right? Anyway. So when I think of choosing your future, I'm reminded of a time in my own mind, but it brings me right back to the words of the incredible country western philosopher, one who has reached so many masses and millions of people around the world. More people have subscribed to this incredible philosopher and her thoughts and the things that she's put into the world. And so today I'll leave you with this quote who comes from said country western philosopher. You may have heard of her. Her name is Miley Cyrus. And she said, I can almost see it. This dream that I am dreaming, but there is a voice inside my head that is saying you will never reach it. And I think about her words, and they were so profound to me in that moment, because there was a season in my life where that exact same voice lived inside of my head and echoed through my mind like the empty halls of a medieval castle. They just told me on a daily basis, you're not enough. Who do you think you are? You can't change anybody's life. You can't inspire anybody. You can't. You're never going to go and achieve the mountaintop. You're never going to go and create something powerful in the world. And I bought those lies for a very long time. I believed that voices in my head that told me I wasn't enough. The voices in my head that told me I had nothing to give. The voices in my head that told me I didn't look the part. I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't handsome enough. I wasn't cute enough. I was too big. I was too this. I was too that. These things that were inside of my head that made me feel like I was less than. I believed them. And if you're honest with yourself, you've heard those voices as well. Those voices have told you you're not enough. Those voices have told you that dream can't happen. That dream isn't gonna happen. Who do you think you are? Why are you dreaming so big? Do you know where you come from? Do you know who you're connected to? Do you know what you've been through? Do you know the choices you made? Do you know the bad choices you made? You remember? You made all those bad choices. You made all those bad financial decisions. You made all those bad relationship decisions. Who are you to think you can go do something great in the world? And to that voice, I tell that voice, shut up. You can shut up, fam. Because it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. To that voice, I look directly in its eyes, the voice inside my head. And I say, nah, fam, it's possible. It's possible. This dream, it's possible because I've read countless stories on end about individuals who are just regular humans, just like you and I, who made a choice and dared to dream. But they didn't only dare to dream, they took action on the dream. And because they took action on a dream, somebody else's dream became a reality. Because they took action on their dream and they made it real and they attained success and they learned what it takes to make something massive in the world. Now I know it's possible because I've seen somebody else do it. You can't tell me it's impossible because I've seen them do it. And they can't tell you it's impossible. You can't start a podcast with no audience and no community and no listeners. That's a lie. Tell them BS. Because you watching M Black Speaks right now. And I ain't had but 200 followers at the time when we started this. So, it's possible because I seen it with my own 2 eyes. But not only is it possible, you really start to think about your dream. You have a dream to show up in the world to serve other people. You have a dream of putting a gift on the table that's not only going to benefit you, not only going to generate revenue for you, not only going to help you, it's going to change the lives of a lot of hurting and broken people right now. I don't know if y'all notice or not, but we live in a world that is incredibly dark right now. It's incredibly hurt. There is a hurting world. There is a sick world. There's evil running amok. There's people doing things, mistreating people, hurting people, stealing people, trafficking people. Heartbreaking, man. Makes me cry and have sleepless nights sometimes thinking about some of the negativity and the conditions in the world. So if that's the case, and we know this is what we're fighting, it's not only possible for you to achieve your dream, it's necessary. Because whether you know it or not, somebody is sitting in a cage right now with a door locked. And the key to them getting out is you showing up with your gift, your passion, your knowledge, and you giving them the key to get out of it. What I'm telling you is it's not optional anymore, my friend. It's not optional for you. It's not optional for you to say, well, I'm going to get all my ducks in a row. I'm going to figure it all out. I'm going to schedule and I'm going to learn and I'm going to create. Nah, no, and more no. You'll never have it all together. If you wait till you're ready, ready never comes. I got an episode in here in one of these seasons. There ain't no such thing as ready. Ready never comes. So, Ready or Not, that's what my episode is called. It's called Ready or Not. Go find that one. Actually, it's called Ready or Now. Ooh, ain't no Ready or Not. It's not who cares? Ready or now. Because that's what it is. Either I'm ready, and if I'm not ready, either way, I'm getting it now. Because it's necessary. Because you're going to set somebody free. You're going to set somebody free. You're going to open that cage. You're going to help somebody realize that life is worth fighting another day. You're going to help somebody realize that they can continue to keep going and keep growing. They can push onward and upward. You're going to be a literal lifeline to a person who's in need. That's you. That's why it's necessary. It's not optional anymore for you to show up. But you might be thinking, there's so many people on the planet, though. There's so many people who want to do what I want to do. There's so many singers on the planet. There's so many musicians on the planet. There's so many podcasters. I see them every single day. I see the ads. There's so many speakers. Why would anybody want to listen to me speak when they have all these incredible, phenomenal people? I don't know if you like me. I just had doubts. That voice that Miley was talking about, that voice playing in residency in my head. And that voice was telling me, why would the world ever need a Marcus Black? Why would the world need an M Black Speaks when there's a Trent Shelton in the world? When there's a Les Thomas in the world, when there's a Les Brown in the world, when there's all these other incredible, when there's an Inky Johnson in the world, when there's an Eric Thomas in the world. Why would the world, when there's a Jeremy Anderson in the world? Come on, fam. Why would the world need you when the world has all of these incredible pontificators of words? Why? The world doesn't need you, bro. And some of you are sitting under the sound of my voice and you're thinking that right now. You're thinking, man, the market is so saturated. You're thinking that, man, M Black Speaks, you already out here. You got it on lock. These people got it on lock. All my favorites got it on lock. Tony Robbins got it on lock. You know, Ed Milet got it on lock. You know, you're thinking these things. And to you, I would say, yes, guess what? The world does have all of these individuals, but what the world is missing, what the speaker world is missing, what the music world is missing, what the podcast world is missing, what the entrepreneur world is missing, what the executive corporate leadership world is missing is you. It's you. You're the missing piece of the puzzle. Because guess what? As incredible as all those gentlemen are who I named, and the ladies is out there too. Don't get me started on these Mel Robbins and the Amberly Lagos and the Lisa Bilyeu's and, you know, the Brene Browns. Come on now, the Real Talk Kims of the world. They out here and they doing it. They are killing the game. The Lisa Nichols, come on, they killing it. Don't get me started. And you look at all of these people, guess what? They are all remarkable in their own right, but you know what they're not? They're not you. They don't have your lived experience. No human on the planet. And when I realized that there was more inside of me, I remember thinking so small of myself, but then I started thinking like, you know what? I'm gifted, but more than my gifts, I got a heart that beats and bleeds to help other people figure out how to make meaning of this crazy life. That is an X factor for me. And if I bleed my heart on a camera, if I put emotion on a microphone, I don't know who's watching me right now. I don't know who's listening to me. I don't know how many people this message gonna reach, and I don't care. What I do know is that if I remove myself from the picture, something is wrong. It's incomplete. Don't believe me? Just watch. If I gave you a puzzle piece, yes, you. And I gave all the hundreds of y'all, thousands of y'all that's going to listen to this a puzzle piece. And I said, come together. We're going to have a meetup. We're going to put this puzzle together. I want you to come pull up on me so we can put this together. And you get here and you bring your piece. And she brings her piece. He brings his piece. I see you right there. Yeah, you bring your piece. Yep, you. I see you on that run. You bring your piece of puzzle. You're listening to this while you're at work, tapping those keys. Bring your piece to the puzzle. You're cleaning up your office. You're organizing while you listen to this. Bring your piece of the puzzle. You're planning out your future and you're thinking about some courses as you listen to my voice, bring inspiration and motivation. Bring your piece of the puzzle. So we all put our pieces and we get there and we work it out and we get to the very end and that picture is looking so beautiful. We're waiting on the last piece and that last piece is yours. And I'm like, come on, pull up. Put your last piece of the puzzle so we can be complete. But as we sit there, it's like, oh no, we're missing a piece of the puzzle because you didn't think it was worth it. You didn't think you should bring your piece to the puzzle because you waited on everybody else. You waited on him and her and them and they when it was really your piece. And so now all the rest of us who put our pieces of that puzzle together will sit there feeling incomplete. No matter how good it is or how good it was, that picture will never be complete. That's because if you miss even one piece of a puzzle, without it, the picture will never be complete. Listen to me, my friend. Life is a puzzle. But you are the piece. What I'm telling you is you are the piece that completes the puzzle. You are the piece that completes the puzzle. It's not him, it's not them, it's not we, it's not they. It's you. It's you. It's always been you. The gifts you have is your gift. It's your passion. It's your dream. It's your experience. It's your voice. It's your smile. It's your kindness. It's your humility. It's you. You are the piece that completes the puzzle. So the next time you find yourself questioning if it's him and it's them and it's she and it's they, it's you, fam. It's you. You're the piece that completes the puzzle. I need you to say it. Say, I am the piece that completes the puzzle. But you're listening to me and you're feeling a little inspired and you're like, yes, I'm not hiding no more. I'm not shrinking no more. I'm showing up in the world. I'm giving everything I got to go get the dream and to make it real. Well, guess what? It is you. But also, it's hard. You're like, I want to do that, but I don't quite know how. It's hard. How can I get the eyeballs on my business and my brand and my podcast and my social media if I don't have followers? I don't have followers and I don't have dollars to invest in ads to get followers. And you're sitting here saying to yourself that, well, maybe I'm going to just undo everything you just did because you said it was possible. You said it was necessary. You said it was even me. But it's too hard. Guess what? It is hard. Nobody told you that this road would be easy. However, you can do hard things. Not only can you do hard things, you have done hard things. Look back over your life. I dare you right now to say your age out loud. Say it out loud. Don't say it in your head. Unless you're in a meeting at your job that you're not supposed to be talking in, say it out loud. Thank you so much to those of you who just said it. Now to the other 500 of you that ain't say nothing because you like, yeah, he can't hear me no way. I can hear you. You ain't know. I got ESPN, baby. I got superpowers. I need you to say it. Thank you. Finally, your age. I dare you to take that number and multiply it by 365. I dare you to multiply it by 365. You're going to get a very large number of days that you have been on the planet. And I want you to know that over the course of all those days, you've had some hard times. You had some miserable times. You had some times that seemed insurmountable and that you didn't know how it would work or how you would be able to come out on the other side. But somehow you did because you just kept showing up. You just kept fighting. You just kept pushing. You just kept going and growing and moving onward and upward. And then you realize, yes, it's hard. But you do hard things. It's hard, but it's not too hard. Nothing is too hard. Nothing worth having ever comes easy. So if it comes easy, you shouldn't even want it because it wasn't really meant for you. Because in that hard place, character is built. In that hard place, courage is built. In that hard place, you become the greatest possible version of yourself. Not in the easy times. The people we sing about from history are the people who literally overcame greatest adversity. Listen, don't make me get back on Hamilton. Because y'all know I'm a Hamilton fan. I got a whole episode dedicated to Hamilton. Season 2, I think it's episode 17. Go tap in if you're my Hamilton fans. How does a bastard, orphan, son of a whore and a Scotsman, dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean by Providence, impoverished, how did he grow up to become a hero and a scholar? How did somebody who literally had his father abandon him, who lost his mother to sickness, who literally was growing up in the most extreme amount of poverty, how did that human being go on to become one of the founding fathers of one of the greatest nations, countries on the entire face of the planet Earth. How? How did he do that? That's the people we sing about. I sang that song just to show you people are literally, I'm not making this up, singing songs about people from throughout history who have dared to overcome every odd and adversity. Yes, it's hard, but nothing worth having ever comes easy. And you can do hard things. Take it away from me, right? But even though you're thinking it's hard and you're looking at the journey ahead and you're looking at what you've ever over what you had to do, listen, this journey's been hard for me. You guys get to see me on camera, lights, cameras, action, TVs, magazines, TED, all of this stuff. That's cool. It wasn't always that way. And things are flowing now and things are falling into my lap and everything's in alignment. But that's a fruit of the labor that I did in the beginning. But there were days when I questioned, can I do this anymore? There were days where I wondered, would anybody even care? When I thought about throwing in the towel just 2 years ago because my heart was broken. Because in 1 week, one of my students I mentor was shot in a drive-by, just had nothing to do with him, not looking for drama in his own bedroom and couldn't sleep at night. And he's telling me this. Another one of my students walks in on a tragic situation in his home. Another, like my kids, they're not my kids, but they're my kids. You know, I care for them on another level. The kids I mentor at the school here in the city, and my heart was just broken. And I'm like, man, I pour my heart and soul out every day. There was a father who murdered his own kids after live streaming it on Facebook, and the kids are crying. And he took those babies' lives. He took his own life. And I'm seeing this happen every day. Some of you have had horrible experiences. People have manipulated you. People have taken advantage of you. People have taken advantage of your body. People have abused you mentally, physically, sexually. And it breaks my heart. And I just said, why would I even keep trying? Why would I keep pouring my heart and soul out to a world that's lost and broken if it does no good? It's not even helping. It's not even making a difference. I'm not even making a dent in the evil that's running this world, man. I'm done. I'm out. And even though in that moment, everything inside of me wanted to throw in the towel, my incredible mentors brought me back into the fold over time by reminding me, yes, it's hard, son, but it's worth it. Because you are putting the weight of the world on your shoulders to save every human being on the planet. Guess what? I don't know who you think you are or why you think you're so great, but that's not possible. You can't save everybody. That's not your job to even be trying to think about saving everybody, but you can save somebody. And if you don't show up with your gift and your talent and your passion, Les Brown said, evil prevails when good people do nothing. So you got to stop doing nothing and get yourself in the game. It's not your job to be God. Let God be God. It's your job to use what God gave you to make an impact on the people who are put in front of you. It's worth it every single time. If one person goes from lost to found, it was worth it. If one person wakes up to their purpose and their passion, their purpose, their passion, and their potential, it's worth it. If one person leans in. If one person clings on to the lifeline, if one person decides it's worth staying another day, it would have all been worth it. It's worth it. You're fighting for your job right now. You're fighting for your career. You're fighting for your family. You're fighting to restore things. You're fighting to restore your own faith in yourself. You're fighting for your mental health. You're fighting for your physical health. I've been in that fight. You're fighting. This year, I made an intentional choice. I'm cutting out processed sugars and processed foods, and I'm moving my body 30 minutes a day. I've been in a boxing gym today. Shout out Rumble Boxing OKC. I'm down 55 pounds and counting in 6 months of the year. It was hard. But it was worth it. And if you're in that fight for your life, if you're in that fight for your family, you're in that fight for your life, you're in that fight for your future. How you choose said future is to realize in the depths of your heart and your soul that it is worth it. And to the dreamers under the sound of my voice, who have heard everything I said and you're feeling inspired. You've laughed, you've cried. I've resonated with you on the deepest level and you're still hanging with me. Shout out to you. Kudos to you for still being here at this moment. But you've heard everything I said and you're daring to dream again. You're daring to look up again. You're daring to put it on paper again. You're daring to formulate a plan again. You're daring to say, I'm going to put one foot in front of the other because slow steps are better than no steps in order to make my dream a reality. To that person who's under the sound of my voice, I want you to know it's already done. It's all ready. Done. You ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got to cry about it. You ain't got to sit and spin in circles and circles and circles like a hamster on a wheel because it's already done. That dream you dream, it's done. That goal you set, it's done. When I set out from day one to say I want to be one of the top most impactful speakers on the planet, the day that I set it in my mind and I started to take action to make it real, it was already done. And now all of y'all know who I am because of a choice that I made. And I ain't even where I'm gonna be. But I'm gonna continue living it out every single day, and where I wanna go, it's already done. My dream, my God-sized dream, is to speak in all 195 United Nations countries around the globe. And you know what I got to say to that? Oh, you already know. It's already done. So if you, my friend, will take the things I gave you, not just if you want to be a speaker and use this to impact people, but for your own dream. If you want to choose your future, start with the dream and know that it's possible. It ain't only possible. Know that your dream is necessary. And it's you who's supposed to fulfill the dream. It's not him. It's not her. It's not them. It's not they. It's you. And even though it's going to be hard, the hardest thing you've ever had to do, it's worth it. And if you're willing to keep putting it out there, if you're willing to keep chasing, if you're willing to keep going for it, it's already done. So I say to you, my challenge to you this day and every day is to choose your future. Choose yourself, choose your family, choose your legacy, choose the life that you want to live by showing up valiantly and showing up boldly every single day, putting one foot in front of the other, taking one intentional step today to get yourself where you want to go, and you go build a life you love to live, because you can.